20. Fellow Kiss fans, welcome to It's All For You Demons, celebrating the fun of being a Kiss fan. And tonight, the fun we are celebrating is teenage magazines. The teen magazines. 16... Whoa! Easy there. Got the old Dukes of Hazzard there. Peter Criss. And Teen Beat. All Kiss related. All 80s fun. I grew up in the 80s. I very much remember going to Woolworths with Robin Dyson, the girl who lived behind me, my best friend growing up, her grandma, and probably one of her grandma's friends. And they would buy us a teen magazine. And we were very much into the Dukes of Hazzard, and they always were Dukes of Hazzard related. And then the grandmas would, the grandmas would gather in the Woolworths cafeteria, gossip, drink coffee, while Robin and I had a chocolate malt and a new teen magazine to look at. I imagine that fun happening all the time in 1977, 78, 79, and 80 with Kiss, and that is what we are going to talk about tonight. That magical fun of the teenage magazine and Kiss. That's HOTFACE. HOTFACE tonight. Probably carry over from Tuesday evening when we filmed Critical Kiss. My HOTFACE is Creatures of the Night, and this is my absolute favorite album version, vinyl, of Creatures of the Night I own. This is the Argentina pressing. Criaturas de la Noche. I butchered that. Criaturas de la Noche. How fun is that? Again, tell me that stuff when I was 19, I would have literally shit my pants. And I just can't believe I get to experience this as an adult. I get to own albums like this. This is the fun of being a Kiss fan. That's all we do here in the Wax Night House. Very Creatures of the Night HOTFACE. I just bought Julian Gill's book, War Machine. Album and tour. It arrives Tuesday, so next week I'm sure we're going to look at some of my favorite moments from that book. The cover, wow. I bought the hardcover. It is absolutely amazing. I'm going to show it here, but I'm going to keep my lip zipped to save my gushing over it for our video. Leave your HOTFACEs below, and let's wax teenage Kiss fun. As mentioned last week, our buddy Alan gifted us 3 very cool magazines, one being a 16 magazine, the other being a Motley Crue magazine that was super awesome, and the third being a Guitar World magazine celebrating Kiss from like the reunion tour era. Those are all awesome and video worthy themselves, but tonight we're only talking teen magazine, so we are only talking the December 1979 16 magazine he gifted us, which has an amazing ace cover. Thank you so much, Alan, for this. Means the world to me, and I freaking love these magazines. Like I said, I was an 80s kid. I remember how big these magazines were to me for Dukes of Hazzard. You see John on the cover as well on this one. And I just know that somewhere, millions of homes, Anytown, USA, were full of 6 to 15-year-old kids, maybe even up to 17, who loved Kiss and loved buying these magazines. 1979 and 80, I imagine it was a younger crowd. I imagine it being 7 to 11 years old. which makes it even more fun because that is the magic of childhood, and that's a lot of why I love Dynasty. So I thought tonight we would take a look at some of my favorite moments from each of these magazines. First off the cover, if you're 9 years old and you love Kiss and you are leaving Woolworths with your grandma in 1979, December 1979, maybe doing some Christmas shopping, you see this, you're like, hey grandma, I have to have this. Can I please have this? Yes, you can. Day is made. To me, a lot of the magic of this era is that shift. That shift right after Phantom of the Park when it wasn't so cool for the older kids to like Kiss. And it was a lot of fun for the younger kids. The magazine starts off with a Kiss close-up, and basically it is a description of what is going on during Kiss's Dynasty Madison Square Garden show. They talk about this is the second time Kiss has returned to Madison Square Garden, the first being Love Gun. Noted here from WPLJ Radio, December 1977. And the coolest thing to note is at Madison Square Garden, the 2020 interviews were taking place, and those are some of my favorite clips of the Dynasty era. Mainly because of Disgruntled Dad.
The best buyers are the little kids who bring their parents to the show. If mom and dad come, mom and dad have a pocket full of money and the little kids get whatever they want.
I want a shirt with some inside the kids. What a what? It says kids.
I need more money.
I want a program, John.
The programs are $5.
And next up is the Give 'em a Little Kiss winners section where kids submitted artwork and Gene, Paul, Ace, and Peter chose winners. I doubt they really chose them. I'm sure it was someone in the coin office. But Joe Stevens won the grand prize. Super cool photo. There is Gene, non-makeup, obviously backstage, New York City, Madison Square Garden, eyeballing Joe Stevens' grand prize. And here is the entire band with that piece of art. And it's fun to think of, man, where are these pieces of art today? They had to have been in the coin offices at one time, obviously with Kiss at Madison Square Garden. Where are they now? Like, they're out there somewhere. We know where they're going to end up.
Hey, this is John 5, and I want to invite you to the Knights in Satan Service Kiss Museum.
Here's a little feather for your cap, John Stevens. I hope you realize this happened. The 1979 super rock and guitarist songbook contains your poster inside. There you go, John Stevens, a fold-out poster of Kiss holding your painting in a Japanese songbook. How cool is that? I hope you know this happened because that is huge. And for me, it doesn't get much bigger than owning this ad for the first time. I've never owned the ad for the second Tyvek jacket. I don't know if there was an ad for the first, but I've never owned the ad for the second. I've seen it all the time that it's electrifying, the second Tyvek jacket, the Flames version. Never owned this ad, so once again, thank you, Alan. That's an amazing find. And there is my Tyvek jacket 1, and there's the one with the flames. I love this picture contest where you spot the errors on the drawing and you could win $10. I love the fact it's Devo. How cool is that? A little ad for Kiss jewelry from Jewelry of the Stars. Kiss logo ring, Kiss pendant, Kiss logo stick, Paul signature pendant, Peter, Ace, Gene, signature pendants, $1 each. $1 freaking dollar. If you couldn't tell the machine was shutting down by December 1979, there you go. Here we have the Ace article. Super cool picture of Ace on the right side there, black and white. That outfit is just so badass. All of Ace's outfits, 77 through, I even like his older outfit. So 77 through Elder. Ace is just the coolest. I mean, let's face it. The coolest member of Kiss. Always and forever. And then we have more drawing submissions. We have Ace from Kim Trotman of Fort Worth, Texas. Kim, I tried to look you up on Instagram, but I'm not a Facebook person, so it would probably be easier to find you there. I want to find these people, and I want to message them, and I want to say, hey, did you submit a picture to 16 magazine when you were a kid of Ace Frehley? And they'd say, yes, I really did. Do you still have it? Or if not, just talk to them and make their day. Make them feel good that people are remembering them in 2026. And a super fun part of this magazine is the centerfold. This has a centerfold of Paul with the Iceman. And I am going to frame this and put this up because I do have a Peter and a Paul 16 magazine centerfold near the poster rack. Really dig that one with the guitar. That may have to be a Dynasty wall poster. So I am going to get a frame for that because I do love that one. And next up we have 16 magazine from August 1980. Kiss Peter Criss talks about the horrible rumor. Plus bigger than life cat color pull-out poster. Poster was not in this one. I actually found this 16 magazine and this Teen Beat at a flea market in the middle of Kansas in a field. And I asked the lady, I said, how much for these 2 teen magazines? And she says, well, the covers are kind of bent. How about $2 for both? Covers the Kiss Diary, Peter Criss is his life story, and that horrible rumor. You all have heard the horrible rumor that Peter Criss is no longer in the band. He is here, August 1980 in 16 magazine, to tell you that is not true. And he is still a member of Kiss. And you kids are in for a world of hurting if you're believing that. I love the teenage magazine. I love when Kiss media is targeted for kids. I love it. Kiss the Real Story, written by Peggy Tamarkin. All of the songbooks, written by Peggy Tamarkin. They all have that summer reading club. The book fair is at elementary school. And you found a Bananas magazine with Kiss on the cover. And yes, Kiss was on the cover of Bananas magazine. I love it, and it just makes me happy. And that's, again, why I mentioned in the beginning, I think I gravitate towards the Dynasty era. I remember growing up and loving Empire Strikes Back because it was so larger than life for me. And it was such a place of escape. I hated school, but I could have a Han Solo and Chewbacca pencil and stare at it in school and drift away. And I feel kids did the same thing with Kiss. And that makes me happy. And speaking of wanting to find people and find things, Di Porter of Tustin, California made a hook rug in beautiful red and white of Kiss Dynasty right there. That is amazing. That rug is somewhere. Her parents probably sold it at a garage sale. But my goodness, can you imagine having that rug in the Wax Night basement? I would be the happiest boy on the face of the earth. Di Porter, if you're out there, contact me. This needs to happen. Then we have Gene and Paul at the bottom of Rockline, the very latest from the exciting world of music. Feeling feisty. A little shadow boxing before the show keeps Paul Stanley in tip-top concert condition. Gene Simmons isn't being nasty. He's just prouder than a peacock when it comes to that $1 million tongue. Again, the elementary school writing. Love it. And probably the coolest of all in this magazine, Unmasked ad on the back page. That made my freaking day. And I didn't even notice it when I first got it. I just noticed it today, gathering my thoughts for this vlog. How cool is that? And lastly is the Teen Beat from March 1981 with Eric Carr on the cover. This even made my flea market day with my wife even cooler because you kind of hope for Kiss stuff out in the wild. You rarely think you're going to find a Eric Carr Unmasked era something. Boom, right in front of me. Not as much fun in this magazine because you can see the tides are turning and the machine is done. Popularity is dumping and there's just not a lot of Kiss in here. No Kiss mention in any poster, iron-on, or jewelry ad, which is strange. But this Eric Carr article is super cool. And I remember when the Dukes of Hazzard changed to the Cousins, I felt robbed. And I didn't like it anymore. And I went for a long time without watching the Dukes of Hazzard until Bo and Luke came back. And I imagine that's how a lot of Kiss kids felt when Eric joined. But you can't deny how cool Eric looks. And the last thing that just absolutely makes my day is Jackie Ingalls, who owned this magazine, filled out an ad for a BG and Andy Gibb magazine, filled out an ad for a Teen Beat survey, and also filled out an ad for a Teen Beat subscription that she did not send in. And it breaks my heart that she didn't send them in, but I love the fact that she probably spent a summer day with a blue Bic medium point pen filling out this survey. She loves Scott Baio. Her favorite movies are Grease, Skate Town, USA, and Xanadu. She loves Andy Gibb, Donna Summer, and Blondie. Are you a regular reader of Teen Beat magazine? Yes, I'm just starting. It's great. Jackie, I looked up your house because I have to, because I'm that much of a nerd. It just makes me happy to see that house and realize that in 1981, you were in that house filling out this survey, the world in front of you, loving Scott Baio, loving all these great movies. It's what pop culture is all about. And that is what we celebrate here. We celebrate the fun of being a Kiss fan. Music, film, popular culture, dogs, Kiss, nostalgia. Jackie, you pretty much made my year. This has been a rough year. 2026 has. And Jackie, your survey, subscription, all your love of pop culture really put a smile on my face. Thank you for hanging with us tonight and waxing a little rock and roll nostalgia with us here in the Wax Night House. Be good to your babies. Spay, neuter, microchip. Take care. Be safe. We will talk to you soon. And look who joined us. Little brother boy. Little brother boy. Little brother boy joined us. Hi, baby boy. Oh, I got the two craziest witches ever in the world.
All right.
And that's a way you end an episode.